Hello everyone, and welcome to another summary video for the sRs Pro and sRs2. We're starting with the pound yen and the idea here is very interesting. You don't see these kind of setups too often, but this time we got it. So first of all, you can clearly see that the price is moving lower. We have the bearish momentum. All of the monitors are suggesting that we're going to be moving lower, especially now we're talking about the 1 hour chart, which was inside bullish correction. Then when it comes to the other indicators, namely the sentiment and the momentum, we have a bit of mixed feeling here, but overall 2 out of the 3 are pointing down, which means this setup is more than sufficient for the sells. And here comes the interesting part. Now there are a few ways we can look at this thing. First of all, we can be looking at it as a double wave, which ended right here, and then we actually have step trading here, something which we don't do that much, maybe because the market doesn't allow it, or maybe because most of the times when we have the double wave, clear double waves, the attack will be coming somewhere around this zone before making it a step trade. In this case, however, we can see this is namely what happened. What could have been done better in this situation is, of course, looking for a pullback versus the breakout zone, which is right here. So basically, once the candle closes, you wait for the pullback and then attack. Now there is, of course, a trade-off in this situation, because the price might be dropping immediately without giving the pullback as you wanted, because technically speaking it closed below on the first candle, and then the candle that we're looking at the moment already provided this pullback right here. So once the signal appears, which is at the end of this spike candle here, the first red one, you're taking the chance that you're never going to see this pullback and the price might be continuing without it, right? The next thing that we can mention here is that the risk reward ratio, the way it is at the moment, is not ideal. Not per se the risk reward ratio, I'm talking about the level where the target would be. Okay, in such case, yes, we know fundamentally the pounds are super bearish at the moment, and that's why we can be allowing ourselves in such situations to go on short, because it's likely we're going to see lower lows. But in general, if you're not really sure what's happening with the setup and you don't have some extra confirmation like higher time frame, cycles, or fundamentals as we have it here, just anything extra, it is better if your target would be just a few pips before the actual swing. In this case we're selling, so the target better be slightly above the swing low. Okay, so this is pretty much everything that I had to say about this one. It pushed lower, and I think you can see it now kind of clear that this pullback right here would not be giving you the trigger. You see, this is exactly what I'm referring to. Technically speaking, the retest happened during this candle. Again, the momentum is extremely strong, fundamentally driven moves, so short-term pullbacks like this one, and then you see massive continuations and massive moves in the original direction. That was the first one. Then I have this one, euro dollar, which is again providing a very similar situation when it comes to the actual setup, which is right here, right? We got kind of a step trading here. So basically the price pushed lower, stop loss clearance, most likely creating a V-shaped pattern, and then we started continuing to the downside. Of course, if you're following our live trading rooms, you have an idea where we stand on this one on the hard time frames. But speaking about Eurodollar solely based on sRs, 4-hour chart cannot be bearish than that. 1-hour chart, same story. 15-minute chart also turning now after this tiny pullback here, and sentiment completely red. Momentum is the only one giving us up arrow here, and overall we're looking at a conservative setup. Plus the most important part, I mean, this right here, we just look, read and accept, right? We don't have to do any job on this part or this part. The more important part when it comes to trading the sRs and any other strategy actually is the price action and the levels. And I want you to very clearly identify and check out these two levels: push, break, push, break. And look the way these breakouts happened. Very tiny breakout, pullback, very tiny breakout, pullback. I'm talking about this distance here being a tiny one. Here we had a bit more move, okay, slightly bigger move, but the first candle which is breaking is not that massive, is not that convincing, as opposed to these two where you clearly have some kind of 15-minute chart swing low, right? As much as we can have swings on the 15-minute chart, but based on this we got nice pullback, so making this low important one. And look the way the price developed right here. Okay, this is the way we want to see the price breaking when it comes to breakouts. Then the next part, we have this low and all these candles not being able to close below it, and naturally we can expect some pullback to be delivered, maybe even a reversal, we don't know. But this level is holding, right? This is what we read from that chart, at least this is what I read up until here. And then this massive candle comes in play, right? So closing, we managed to get here a few more pips to the upside during a pullback, and basically this is where the attack is. And now check out, based on the previous swing low, where the target is. Okay, what we just mentioned in the previous example. So this one pushed higher, couldn't reach the target, and immediately the stop was triggered. Get out of the trade. Then we have another pound cut, and here the situation is slightly different. First of all, the price action, absolutely fantastic price action, going down. The monitors are also fine, only the 15-minute chart was bullish inside this zone, but in general we can see that the trend is bearish. Sentiment looks good as well, only momentum is somewhat giving us bullish pressure here on the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour charts. This is where the signal becomes aggressive, okay, and we should pay attention to these things, meaning that if you're trading conservative signals with a given proportion or risk per the account or per the balance or equity, maybe when it comes to aggressive, you want to be lowering this percentage of the risk, right? This kind of management we're referring to. So here we have the trendline breakout, which is a pretty classical situation. Finally the good trend line. And again, in terms of classical, when we're going to talk about it, we have the ABCD pattern, which is the pullback. We have the previous breakout right here, which couldn't hold. It almost cleared here the stops, so if anyone is entering, they try to clear potentially people that are protecting this zone, not the official high, and then the actual drop happened. So same story repeating itself right now. This is the breakout zone, okay, and then we have the pullback, and then we have the correction plus a breakout. So in terms of describing the actual setup, this is what we got, and the two targets you can see slightly lower. Now that's some of the more interesting examples, starting from the top of the list, of course. Now let's switch quickly to sRs TrendRider 2, guys, the previous version, where we also have a few things I would like to discuss. The first one, starting again from the top, pound Kiwi, all the pounds, pretty classical situation with these bearish moves. Does the push lower? This is our ABC pattern. In terms of levels, we have on the way down these micro zones, and you can see how strong this thing is. I mean, this is the 15-minute chart, guys, all right? And even here, the pullbacks are not lasting that much. Look at that. They're actually not pullbacks, those are consolidations, because the price is not going higher. That we can call a pullback, right? So let's say that on the way up from this ABC, the last part here was reached, the last level, tested, and then we're looking for immediate continuation. Again, just trying to take advantage of this very, very strong momentum fundamentally created, and the idea is to get in, get out as quickly as possible, put some money in the pocket, and then leave, right? So classical situation ABC. Then we had I think it was 7.3 Aussie dollar sell. Yeah, this one. Now we're back to the 15-minute chart. This time we're looking at an aggressive signal, and if the signal is aggressive, usually we would like to confirm with something more, something extra. In this case, the price started forming something which, at least for me, looks like a potential 5-leg structure. Okay, now some people might have a different count in this situation. Okay, I mean, we can literally draw too many cycles, starting especially from this part, because this one right here is more clearer, right? But overall, we can see that the momentum is in place, and we started breaking lows, and we're keeping that trend for a significant period of time. Plus, the ABCD here looks absolutely fantastic, and most of all, notice where the price is currently. Let me actually get the rectangle, and we're going to drop it right here. So this, and that. And all these small zones, spikes, candles, etc., create the big zone. And this is exactly where the price is stopping and testing. Plus, beautiful candle pattern, and we're looking for a breakout to give us the immediate reaction to the downside that we will be looking for. Okay, and again, notice that the exit is much higher than the previous swing. It's not 100% of the times, as we saw with the pound Kiwi, was it, or pound yen in the beginning, the very first example, but usually try to stick to the rule where your stop loss is right before, could be much higher, but not lower than the actual swing, because usually the price will provide some pullbacks and some kind of reaction around these levels, and we don't want to make a winning trade turning into a losing trade. Kiwi yen was another one which I wanted to discuss, and here again we have aggressive sell setup based on the 15-minute chart. The more important part would be what is preceding the actual entry, and that would be the price action that we want to see. 5-leg structure coming right before that, and counting it, of course, from this point right here, we can be expecting at least pullbacks in the opposite direction. This is where aggressive signals coming with trendline breakouts, with sRs or sRs Pro coming in play, and it's super sweet because in these situations, even if we get something like that and then continuation higher, most of the times this ABC would be more than enough for us to go ahead and make some money. Okay, plus again, this is our swing, this is our target. Beautiful false break with this spike candle. So first rejection, then close above, close below, spike, okay, to create the false break here as well, and this gorgeous bearish candle, which is giving us the breakout as well, plus the signal. Then we have that zone at the bottom right here, and we can expect for the price to go ahead and test this level. We can extend it a bit more, including this candle right here, and you can see that the target is just above it. We have one more here, and that could be an obstacle if we extend it, and that could be a place where the price goes and does this, right, or completely pushing to the upside. But this one is too close to our entry, so it doesn't really give us enough room to use it in any way. And as you can see, this is exactly what's happening actually. The first supportive zone right here, stopping the price without pushing to the levels that we were expecting. Okay, so it's all about trying to make the best of it, guys. Get as many confirmations as possible, and if it leans towards the sell and it makes sense, we go ahead and we attack it. If it doesn't, we skip it. Simple as that. So that would be all for this weekend, sRs Pro. I'm wishing you a fantastic, lovely week ahead, or whatever it's remaining of this week. Again, guys, if any questions, leave a comment below and check out the Telegram groups. Bye for now.